live last night, and I'm gonna argue on that person's behalf. I feel like most of the panel or most of y'all already know how I feel about this segment. But I'm gonna argue on this person's behalf. Rickea Jackson is the best scorer in the 2024 draft class. She is the most efficient and she has the most upside to grow because she is a 6'2" wing and she has the ability to go off the dribble and she has the ability to honestly get better defensively. But if we're just speaking about on the strict offensive end, if she develops a 3-point shot, in addition with her free throw shooting, in addition with her passing ability, in addition with her offensive ability to create off the dribble, Rickea Jackson will be the best scorer in the 2024 class. That is the argument that I'm making on that person's behalf. That's the argument that I'm making on that person's behalf. So what are your thoughts on that hot take? Again, I'm speaking on somebody else's behalf, but what are your thoughts on that hot take? And I love Rickea Jackson, so don't even get that twisted. Like, if y'all hearing this, don't even get that twisted.
I don't think that's far-fetched because I think it's fair to say that when she was drafted 4th overall this year, most people overlooked her because everyone's focused on Caitlin, Angel, and that was pretty much it. And anyone else that could actually get drafted, we were like, oh, whatever, it's cool. We just wanted to see the top 2 players that, the new fans were paying attention to in college hoops. But Rickea has been awesome. Her points per average is like 13.4. She averages almost 4 rebounds, almost 2 assists per game. And I think really she's grown a lot, even faster than she could have when Cameron Brink went out for the year, because basically the Sparks season went out the window and they were looking for somebody to kind of be that catalyst for the team. And I think, if folks who watch college hoops the last several years know what she's done in Tennessee, they know what she's capable of in the W. And folks like me who are kind of new to the league, we're not surprised by that still because I did watch as many games as I could. So no, I think she could be the best offensive scorer of the 2024 class because honestly, you have seen this yourself, DJ. You've seen this covering the wings. She's a really raw scorer. She's actually, her 3-point game's not that bad. I think it does have to get a little bit of polishment.
Imagine if she's shooting, I think she averages about two threes a game. But imagine if she ramped that up to 5 a game. And I'll let you finish. I'm gonna pull up these stats because I do want to kind of pull up these stats. I don't, y'all know I don't like speaking like out of side of my neck. Well, you keep going, Rob.
No, I mean, like, I think her 3-point game, I agree. Like, she does need to shoot more threes. And I think, honestly, what she's been doing already has been more than enough. In fact, I think she should honestly get a lot more attention when we get to next season because of obviously the Sparks, whoever they get in the draft and free agency and whoever they protect when we get to during the offseason with the Valkyrie getting some players from the established 12 teams. She's going to be someone to watch. Not just because of her offensive scoring. I think she's going to showcase what she can do. I think she's an unrivaled as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, oh my goodness, the sky's the limit for her. She's really going to show people what she's made of and make people go, oh, wait, there's more than Caitlin, there's more than Angel. Oh, yeah, there's her. So you're looking for someone someone whose story you're looking forward to watching. I suggest watching Rickea during these last few games and obviously during the offseason when we get to see Unrivaled. So, yeah.
If I could, I'll let Falco or Mario, if y'all want to go to up next, but I'll say this, just a few things just on Rickea's defense, or Rickea's defense, rather. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Rickea's defense, rather. 40 made threes, 35% 3-point percentage. So, again, she shoots very efficiently. If she could even just ramp that up even more, like, the sky is the limit for her. She's averaging 13 a game right now. And that's on 46% shooting. So, again, she could ramp that up. She could ramp that activity up a lot. I'll let y'all too kind of, I guess, retort if y'all had something to say about that. I do want to hear what y'all guys. Yeah. Whoever want to go, please.
Ladies first.
Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yes. I think that the take that was said, I don't think that it's totally far-fetched. It's not out of reach of possibility. I mean, we already know that Rickea does have a mid game, and she's, like you just stated, she's pretty efficient. There, I see a possibility of her stretching her game out to the 3 line, and being more consistent in the shooting it, and obviously being more efficient, which will just come with her. I just think as we see her develop into the offensive player that we see that she can be, I don't think that that's a far-fetched take unless, Caitlin Clark develops a midi and start shooting more efficient, a better midi. Because ain't gonna lie, she has a midi, but I don't know. But
She's
yeah, that's
shoot it in a minute.
about that. Yeah, she doesn't shoot a lot. Yeah,
I hear you. I hear you. Falco, you can go.
Yeah, it's not a far-fetched take at all. I mean, I think I know the pool of people you might be talking about. A lot of people like to think outside the box, but if you're thinking outside the box, with Rickea, you're in the ballpark. I mean, she was a prolific scorer at Tennessee, and that wasn't one of the best led Tennessee teams ever. She didn't have the best leadership there. So with Rickea, it's like your prototypical 2-3 with the lead scoring ability on the perimeter. I'd like to see her get a little stronger. I think there'll be some development there. Part of my issue with her development in LA is we got to give rookies grace. And they went through some changes this year in LA. Part of what Rickea is going to have to go through, she can't control. And I like to talk about this with a lot of players. She's not the facilitator. She's the scorer. And the Sparks have issues with facilitators. They have issues with guards right now. So their system's kind of out of whack. I mean, De'Erica's doing her thing down low. That looks good. But perimeter-oriented wise, I don't think that their structure right now is set for her best. But in giving grace and giving her time, I think she has everything you want in a 2 or 3. Like I said, defensively, I'd like to see her get a little bit better. Physically, I'd like to see her get a little stronger. But when you talk about an offensive bag, I'd like to see more collegiate players mimic what she's doing.
Preach. Okay, so it's not wild. So so it's not like a far-fetched take to say she could be the best scorer out of the entire class.
I left this part out. The only reason it seems far-fetched is because you have a young lady named Caitlin Clark who's ball dominant and a gym rat. Like in any other draft, if you look at her skill set, this young lady would probably be seen as the best scorer.
Yeah, I mean, look at the fact in her last 5 games. I mean, during the second half of the season, 4 of her 5 best games have happened since the Olympic break. She got 25 against the Wings. She had 23 against the Sun on September 8th. She had 22 against Seattle on September 15th, and also against Seattle 4 days beforehand, she had 22 again. So obviously, she's just definitely showing her game. So I really like what we've seen out of her for sure.
Yeah.
All right, but speaking of people's games that I enjoy watching, I want to give props to this young woman, Arike Ogunbowale, 4,000 career point, fastest to do it in WNBA history. She did it last night. Or I'm sorry, 2 nights ago against against the Indiana Fever. Her team came up short. She hit a clutch the amount of clutch shots she hits. She hit a clutch shot near the end of the game to help them lose by 1 point. Dallas nearly had a huge road win. Rob, we spoke to her after the game. Obviously, you know how she is when she takes these losses personal, and she is such a hooper. I want to give all the type of flowers to her. So are we tweeting or are we deleting this? Arike fastest to 4,000 points. Actually,
you gotta retweet this.
Yeah,
we got to retweet this all the way to basically the next solar system because she had her best game of the season. She was 10 for 17. Her field goal percentage was 58.8%. Obviously, this was her most efficient shooting night of the 2024 season for Arike, who is an unsung hero, not only for the Wings, but I think one of the most underrated players right now in the league. And no, not to be coincidental with her, guess what? She also played pretty well against the Indiana Fever again, like 2 weeks ago. She had 34 points. I think that was the one where she tied the record for the most threes in a WNBA single game. So, I mean, we should not be shocked by what she's doing. Like she said in the presser last night, which I, unfortunately have to agree with. It's hard to enjoy these milestones because it's not been the best year for her. But let's not lose sight of the fact that
she's been amazing.
She's phenomenal. I think obviously she is the franchise for the Wings. And anyone who's been saying we got to get rid of her, we got to trade her, obviously doesn't know basketball. So it's
Hey,
silly to
bro,
think.
you're saying that.
Yeah, I don't think
Sorry.
she should get. She does not need to be gone. I think she needs to be the building piece for this Wings franchise.
I don't. What? Okay, we have some comments. Tasha, do you know what Ghost is talking about? And shout out to Ghost, long time listener. We appreciate you. And if y'all, everybody at YouTube, TikTok, put your comments in. They're putting they're talking about Rookie of the Year. We're gonna get into Caitlin Clark in a few minutes. Y'all know we're gonna talk segments. We talk hoops here. We're gonna talk about the entire W. But he put nobody retweeting because I don't know what this means. But he put FBA. I don't know if y'all know what that means. Tasha, go looking in the comments. If there's something nasty, y'all know I ain't writing it on the chat. But he put Tasha knows what I'm talking about. So if you know what he's talking about, but I'm retweeting it because she is that woman. So I don't know about that, but she is that Hooper. Mari, I don't like if don't let me cut y'all out because I'm gonna move on if y'all have nothing to say.
I just didn't even know there was a narrative that people were trying to get rid of Arike. That's unheard of to me.
Oh no, I don't. Y'all think I don't think she's not leaving Dallas. Nah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
She not.
Yeah.
They would be dumb to give her up.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's like Rob said, extremely I think she is one of the most underrated players, all-stars, whatever, in the WNBA. I mean, her team just hasn't been great this season. Injuries, other stuff like that, but she's still been able to play phenomenal basketball despite that, in my opinion.
Yeah, she's. Let me ask you this: would y'all put her first team all WNBA?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So Rob got her. I got her first or second. Honestly, it's between her and Copper.
It's at the beginning of the season. It was Kalia for me, but I think Arike has for the last month and a half has done what she needs to do for me.
So okay, you would put her above Sabrina?
Yeah.
Really?
And like you said, I go back to that word underrated. Since she's been in the league, I mean, she's all NBA 2020, All-Star Game MVP in 21, All-Star in 22, All-Star in 23, All-Star Game MVP in 24. Like she's averaging 22 a game this year. And out of a guard that went to Notre Dame with all those Hall of Fame type guards that have gone through Notre Dame, she might be the best.
Let me see. So let me see. Okay. Okay. I don't. Okay. I was like, I didn't know these acronyms. Learning. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but she is. Well, we're gonna give her the flowers that she deserves here because she is that type of person. And as great as she is, she's even better off the court. So I mean, like I can't say enough great things about her. So shout out to her.
Can we talk about the fact that she gave away 10 pairs of her kicks?
I was trying to pull that up, Rob. Y'all know how much I love the fan appreciation, but yeah.
That was awesome.
If you want to speak about that, she gave away shoes at the end of the game. I love that. Like Arike is. Like,
and what was cool about it, you know, to piggyback on what Rob said, it was almost like she offered an invitation before the game even happened,
right?
For people to meet her in the tunnel. So that means regardless of the outcome of the game, I'm gonna do this because I love y'all and I'm humble. You know what I mean? And this is somebody. When we talked about underrated, I think that like that humility is something. I mean, her brother plays in the NFL. She's been a 2-sport star since high school. Some people could be obnoxious with all that. You know what I mean? Like, so, she deserves her bouquet, definitely.
All right, bet. Well, all right. The next segment we're gonna go into it. I mean, well, not next segment, but I can't like as much as we haven't spoken about Asia. And we actually mentioned it, but I want to mention it again. I didn't know if y'all saw this. She was very emotional speaking about her teammates. I guess I'm gonna let her speak right here.
It's in this locker room. I love each and every last one of you. Queen, we just met a couple weeks ago, but girl, you came in here and gelled with us like you've been with us since you began. And those are the people that I love because I'm very particular about who we let in this locker room. So first off, thank you. When it comes to the rest of y'all, that we've been through everything with, I'm so appreciative. I don't get any of this without my guards feeding me the basketball. So thank you guys. But I hope y'all know how much I love y'all, each and every last one of y'all. Y'all will never understand how much y'all mean to me because there's days where I hate being Asia Wilson. I hate it. But when I come into work and I see y'all smiling and I see y'all just happy, makes me who I am. And I am so grateful to have teammates like y'all because y'all listen, I can go on. Y'all are just amazing people. And
All right. Well,
I love coming into work with y'all every single day.
what are your thoughts? We retweeting it? I'm assuming we are retweeting this. What are y'all thoughts?
yeah.
What are your thoughts about it? I love
I
it,
mean-
man. That's why she is who she is. But what are your thoughts about that?
That's powerful to hear that someone of her caliber actually feels really human about how she feels not only as a professional but a personal speaking aspect, because I kind of understand what she's trying to say when she says I hate being Asia Wilson. I think she means that there's somewhat of a burden in being who she is, not only as a player but as a Black woman herself, because I mean there's a lot of pressure to kind of try to not just to progress society in the game, but it's tough to be a person of color, as I've mentioned many times on this show. So for her not to always get the accolades, it's almost like a thankless position for Asia Wilson to be Asia Wilson, because a lot of the highlights can go to other players. So for her to know that along the way she has these women that coach, that play alongside her, that believe in what she's wanting to do, like she wants to go out to battle with her every single night, that means everything to her. It makes her feel like there's a reason to get up, to go to the gym, to go to the court, to go on the road on those planes to go to the next destination. And bravo to her to being so vulnerable, being very raw about this. I just love that Asia Wilson has a moment like all of us do when we have our moments of doubt, our moments of insecurity, our moments of wondering if we're good enough, if people will accept what we're doing. So good on her. I love it. Retweet that all the way to the next galaxy.
Amen. Falcor, Maria, this is Jordan. We got Jordan Nuts on the line. Rob, Tosh. Actually, Maria, I'll let you go next, and then Tosh, if you want to go, please. Like, I don't know I would love anytime you're ready, we could. Like, don't run all at once. I'll go last.
Actually, even though it came out yesterday, because I did watch the game, of course. That was actually my first time seeing that clip, surprisingly. Definitely retweeting it. Got a little emotional watching that. Speech was very powerful for it to be about a moment that she, a moment that she had that no other player in WNBA history has ever had. For her to even, because we know what type of person Asia Wilson is. Even outside of this speech, we've seen acts of humbleness from her, and everything like that. But her saying that sometimes it's tough being Asia Wilson, and her even giving flowers to other players in a speech in a moment that's literally supposed to be about her, just shows her true character.
Right.
She Asia is literally I want to say the perfect person, but she's what you would want in any leader, in any player that's the best player in their respective league. That's what the WNBA is about. That's what we love. And to me, this whole season, this whole year, she's proven to me that she's the GOAT. She's had a season, in my opinion, that I feel like no NBA, because I also watched the NBA player has never had, no WNBA players. What Asia did this whole season, I'm just happy to have been born in this time period of watching Asia Wilson play basketball. So that's definitely retweeting and giving Asia Wilson her flowers.
Tosh, what we got? What we saying about Asia? And
I'm just gonna repeat. I'm going to repeat the words of Tom Brady. There are plenty of players in the WNBA, but there is only one Asia Wilson. And her doing this on yesterday, it's the proof, right? She is the type of leader, the type of person that you want leading a team. She's the type of person that you want to be the face of the league, right? I think that her being vulnerable has come more than one time this year. And I think that it's needed in the spaces where she's allowed to do that, breathe, to be vulnerable, to tell her truth, something. I also believe that some of this is on, again, I keep harping on this, but I think the W has to do a better job of highlighting who is doing the grunt work, right? Like, I think sometimes people get caught with thinking that Black women are domestic workers, right? Like that they are here to only clean up. And then once the cleanup is done, that they can move forward and hire and put in the faces that they want to put in. And that's problematic, right? And I think that more of the ladies are starting to see that. More of the ladies are starting to recognize that the league is not caring for them in a way that they should be cared for. And I sometimes when she's really having a vulnerable moment with this league, and I think that she questions whether or not she wants to be a part of something that is not seeing her value to the fullest potential. And
I'm gonna say, let's go. Tosh, I don't know if your internet's cutting. If you can still hear us, but I want to hear what Jordan got to think. Falcor, Bug. We'll go in that order. And hey, Bug. We talking Asia. Did you see what we were talking about with Asia? When she was speaking with her teammates.
Oh, in the
She
locker
was in
room.
the locker room. Yeah.
Okay, I saw it.
It was such a like humanizing, powerful moment. It just displays that she's such a great teammate and a great leader, you know. And it's so humanizing because she is probably the most consistent, dominant, robotically dominant player there is. So I love seeing stuff like that, you know. It's such a wonderful moment, and I'm sure her teammates feel the same about her.
Falcor, if you got anything to say, I mean, we're doing our tweet and delete, and then Bug, I'll let you. I'll let you. You're up next, rather.
Just about Asia, what I think about that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, y'all know how I feel about Asia. She's always over my shoulder. Asia is the quintessential leader when you look at what a leader is and does. There's never a time where she receives any accolades that she's not thanking her teammates. Last year, she got Defensive Player of the Year. What did she do? Bring Kia Stokes up with her and gave her the award and told the crowd to clap for her as well, because she wouldn't have gotten that if it not been for Kia helping her. Like, who else does stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a big person and a selfless person to be able to share the spotlight with her teammates. And that's why they go so hard for her. I mean, they play for the coaching staff and for that team as a whole, but that team plays for Asia. They're going to do whatever they need to do to protect Asia, to fight with her, to fight for her, whatever is going on that court. If they're not having the best game, they don't feel the best. They feel like they let her down because they know she's putting her 110% in for them, and in return, they want to do the same thing for her. So I mean, I love that nucleus or whatever that they have going on there. And Asia, I hate to see her cry. I hate when she said that she hates it's hard being Asia, and sometimes she hates being Asia Wilson.
I didn't like that sentence
she does take a lot on. I mean, I read her book, obviously, and she talked about how hard she took it in 2020, when they lost and they got swept in the finals by Seattle, and how she took that personally, that it was her fault as to why the team lost. And then she went home, had a panic attack. It was like a whole bunch of stuff that happened that she didn't even realize she was taking on so much. But I mean, she's since worked through that, but it's been a hard journey for her. She deals with a lot, and it was just cool to see that. I'm happy that she was celebrating the way she was when she hit that 1,000-point during the game. And she's awesome. I can't say enough good things about Asia.
And if I could add, okay, Falcor, just okay. If I could add some things too, I'll say this. Quintessential teammate, great word, by the way. I couldn't stress that enough. No, I couldn't stress that enough. The fact that she's she's a very genuine, very humble, very down to earth person, and she is the complete opposite on the court, and that is exactly what you want. You want her to like she is. There's not enough superlatives, accolades, and great things I could personally say about her. And like I think so, we're literally getting ready to bring up into our next segment. That's funny. So we'll just go into this Valcourt, and I will lead off with you since you just came back on the line, and I'd rather start with this. So we talked about this a little bit on live yesterday. Would you rather have one of the things that we spoke about was MVPs, and I mentioned a thing, Caitlin Clark, 5 to 7 years over under 5 or 7 years. Do you think she would win an MVP? A lot of the chat were split, so some of them said under. I agreed with the over. I thought she'd win it over 5 years, and the reason why I'm bringing up MVPs is because we're speaking about one that's getting ready to get anointed, right? As such. So A'ja Wilson's she'll be coming off of her third MVP. She'll most likely win Defensive Player of the Year, and she'll be in the running to win another finals MVP and a championship. So I want to ask this question: for the next 5 to 7 years, would you rather have Clark, and I'll add in this for Rob, so I appreciate this, Clark, Wilson, I'm gonna add Stewie in for sure, Collier, or the field? And I'll start off with you, Valcourt.
That's a tough opener after missing the final part of the A'ja situation. It's funny after doing a deep dive into the A'ja, stats and looking at what she's accomplished this year.
We good?
We just lost him.
That was like a dramatic pause.
Suspenseful.
Dramatic pause of like, come on.
It's like a cliffhanger.
That's terrible. That's terrible. That's like what's
such
the
a tease.
Movie? That's like the end of Transformers right there. What is Michael Bay? Michael Bay. Who else? Who does anybody want to go next? Rather,
I'll go.
Rob. I'll let you. Yeah, go.
Someone should.
Valcourt's back in the chat. That's funny.
Okay, go. Let him finish, and I'll go.
Yeah, let him finish.
I know he's okay.
You
should check on him.
This is now it's the sequel. It's the sequel. This is how the next movie starts.
Go ahead, Valcourt.
Yeah, sorry about that. I promise I paid my bill. It's one of those things. No, what I was saying is, before I get cut off again for some random reason, it's hard after seeing what A'ja's accomplished not to pick A'ja. I'm going to say that. With that said, I believe that A'ja is going to have another year or two, but it's gradually going to shift towards the Caitlin Clark League for the next 3 years. If I'm answering the question was the next 5 to 7 years, correct?
Who would you rather have for the next 5 to 7 years on your team?
Yeah, A'ja's going to do her thing, but I honestly believe that for the next 5 to 7 years, Caitlin Clark, and I'm not speaking just purely on talent, I'm speaking on how the league is going to react to her. Caitlin Clark is going to have the ball literally in her hands of the league for the next 5 years, and that she's going to promote rule changes. She's going to promote different marketing. All these things are going to be connected to Caitlin Clark, and I'm not saying she's the one that deserves it. I'm just kind of saying that's what's going to happen.
If I could add a little more context, I meant strictly basketball, but I was not honestly thinking about like the market. If you're gonna, that's an interesting aspect as well. But I was honestly speaking just strictly on the basketball court. And that's the reason why I brought up this question. I didn't think you were going to go Clark though, but you can keep going. But I do mean just strictly on the basketball court. But if you want to talk about marketing, that's fine as well.
I think we have to wait for that next sequel.
The trilogy.
And this is like Star Trek Wrath of Khan. Yeah,
all right. Jordan, Boog, Maria, Rob. I think Rob said he wanted to go next, and then Maria. Let's go this. Rob, Maria, Boog, Jordan.
All right. Cool. Yeah, so honestly, I would go with Wilson for the next 5 to 7 years, just because she is that all-around player. I wouldn't call her the finished product because we've said this many times. There is still much more of A'ja Wilson that she has yet to uncover from herself as a player. And the fact that she's having her best season right now, still in her 20s, that's pretty dangerous to know that if she keeps, she's going to have unrivaled as her personal playground to refine her game. And you know that what Jay Book said about how she took it very personally when they lost the 2020 WNBA finals against Seattle. You know, she really took that to heart. She's the kind of person that she feels like she has to carry the burden of responsibility. And that's what you're looking for from someone who is going to be the MVP. Now, is she going to be the undisputed MVP for the next couple of years? Probably not, because not only in addition to Caitlin, Angel could have a strong argument to become one of those players for the MVP race. Collier, obviously, too. She's really been quiet in Minnesota, but lo and behold, she's been having a great year. And also, too, you know, there's other players in the league that are coming up their way eventually. Obviously, Paige could have an argument. Juju Watkins, who Ghost mentioned. I think we all are aware about Juju Watkins, what she's going to be able to do. And then Toby Fournier, that freshman coming into Duke, the one that did that slam dunk from a layup. I mean, just wait until she gets through to the 4 years at Duke, what she could do in the W when she can get the good coaching and go with a good program. But for the next 5 to 7 years, I mean, most of that's going to be Asia Wilson dominated, in my opinion. So that's where I'm going to go with that.
Okay, so I said, yeah, it was Maria, Book, Jordan.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So, Mike, please. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Reading some of these comments, putting in some of these comments. How you doing, Mike? Ghost, appreciate y'all.
So, this is
let me.
tough.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. You go ahead and do
All right, cool. What I was gonna say, because like I think some of the people who just restarted the TikTok live, if y'all can't hear, let me know. And then for everybody on YouTube, and I'll put this in the text box for y'all. The question was, who would you rather have for the next 5 to 7 years? Meaning, if you're gonna build around a franchise, Clark, Wilson, Stewart, Collier, or the field. And now I was gonna. I mean, if you want, you could continue. That's why I just wanted to add that in for everybody.
Okay. I think it's tough, but I think I'm gonna give the leeway to Caitlin Clark.
Oh, really?
Just due to the fact in the upcoming, I love Asia, and that hurts me to say this, but in the next couple of years, technically, in basketball years, Asia will be a bit older. We're talking 5-7 years into the future.
So she's gonna be in her prime.
Is she gonna be in her prime?
She will.
She already in her. Wait, you saying Caitlin Clark gonna be in her prime, or because
Asia
Clark will be in her prime? If we
Caitlin Clark will be in her prime.
Asia would
Wilson will still be in her prime.
Asia would technically be pet.
How would people? She won't be past her prime. You can keep going. No, you can keep going. No, don't you keep going.
5 to 7 years, she won't be past her prime.
Nah, 5 to 7. Why you say she's 28? Damn, you think she auntie? Like she's 28.
That's 8 years though in basketball talk. That's 20, 27.
5 years plus 28. She gonna be 33. She gonna be still there. She gonna be right in the middle of her prime still. But keep going. Please keep going. I want to hear that though. Please.
Like I said, it is tough, but I edge it out to Caitlin Clark because, like I said,
she'd rather build with. That's good. Okay.
I gotta edge it to Caitlin because just her progression. I think that Caitlin is headed into the right direction of progression in terms of her talent, and we know, as we saw this season, her rookie year, she was able to impact winning, of course. And I think that's just something that she'll continue to do as the years go. So I'm gonna give the edge to Caitlin Clark.
This is a good question. I didn't. This is like I honestly didn't expect those answers either. But I mean, cool. Let me read some of these comments. Fever lose Mitchell. Does that strengthen or weakens Clark's chance? Great question. I think it'll strengthen it, truthfully, because she'll have the ball more. And then Mike put Asia will be in the downswing of her prime. Yeah, but she'll be still in her prime.
Yeah.
Who we set up next? Bug, and then Jordan, and then I'll go. I'm arguing Wilson. I'm arguing on Wilson's behalf, y'all. I'm just letting you know right now. I'm arguing on Wilson's behalf. My answer was Clark to begin, but like after hearing these answers, I'm arguing for Wilson. So just keep that in mind.
That's very surprising coming from
I know.
him, but
very surprising. I mean, of course, but I'm like, because and then I'll just preface it with this. Like this more, or when we first started, I talked about Rickea Jackson. I brought up an argument that I heard from somebody else. I said I'm going to argue on that behalf, even though I do believe Rickea will be one of the best scorers out of that class. I think Clark will honestly take that cake, but I was arguing on behalf of Asia on that behalf. But for this, y'all know how I feel about CC. Y'all know how I feel about, but I do want to argue on Asia's behalf for this point. I'll let y'all go.
Okay, well, for me, it's short and sweet. I'm always rolling with Asia. Like Rob said, there's still so much more she hasn't done yet. Like, she's not done. She says this all the time. Like, every year she works on her game a little bit more. Every year she gets better than the previous year. Now, there's going to come a time where, yeah, obviously it's going to, time catches up with you. But I mean, I don't really see that her going into like a downswing within the next, 5 years or so. Not to say that anybody else that you named like wouldn't also be well or do well or whatever. Obviously the youth of Caitlin, you look at that just starting her career going into, the next 5 to 7 years, obviously. Yeah. But I roll with Asia 100%.
And Ghost agrees Ghost agrees. The only thing that's slowing Asia down in her MVP is her health, in my opinion. I agree. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's not her age. She's gonna be 33.
No, she'll be good.
In the middle of her prime.
She conditions herself well. She may not want to play for a very long time. It just depends. Like, Asia does what she wants to do. Like, there's a lot of stuff where she says like she's tired or, she goes hard. But I think she has a motor in her that she's gonna be playing elite for a minute.
I don't want to read that comment, but I mean, I would just say I'd be very happy, but I don't want to read that comment. So, yeah, but yeah, it's, Jordan. I want to go against Jordan. I think Jordan going to root Clark, so I want to go against Jordan. So I'm rooting Wilson.
It's Caitlin Clark, man.
All right,
Caitlin Clark the next 5 to 7 years, because Caitlin Clark's 22 years old. Asia Wilson's 27. Collier's 27. Brianna Stewart's 29. Also, like 5 to 7 years, Caitlin Clark will be 27 to 29. Asia Wilson will be 32 to 34. But Asia Wilson's game is so much more physical. The miles she's putting on her body, playing in the post all the time, going for those rebounds. I mean, she's doing extremely well. But I looked up a comp to Candace Parker. I probably the last great year of Candace Parker's career, like really great, was probably when she was 32 years old. Right. But if you look at how many games Candace Parker played, I mean, the seasons back then, Candace Parker never played more than 34 games in a year. Asia Wilson's gonna have to play 40 plus games for the next 5 to 7 years. I mean, and also she makes deep playoff runs every year. So, I mean,
she's gonna be winning.
Right. So she plays the maximum amount of games out of every player every year. Like, I mean, that's a lot to put on, especially the load she's carrying too. Forget post play. She's offense, defense, rebounding. She's so much for that team. As opposed to Caitlin Clark, she's on the perimeter mostly. I mean, she is not super suited physically right now, but she can get stronger. But her game is more finesse than Asia's is. I think for the next 5 to 7 years, it's a better and safer bet than Asia Wilson.
One quick thing I just want to add. Jordan, I don't disagree with that. I just want to say a caveat to Candace. Candace had multiple injuries and surgeries starting from the beginning of her career. So that can kind of affect how long she was playing in her prime as well. I mean, I think she said at the end she had 11 or 12, 12 surgeries on her foot or leg or something like that. I'm not sure.
And she's an above the rim post player.
Hopefully, barring that no major injuries happen, we got to look at that. But no,
but the season is longer.
I don't disagree.
And it's going to get even longer.
So wouldn't you rather? I mean, then you would rather have a guard in that situation. But I say this.
I know you would, Jambari. I know you would.
But I'm gonna
all the time.
I mean, you would rather have a guard in that situation.
We all would.
Yeah, for a longer season. What were you gonna say, Rob? And then I'll go.
Well, I'm going to say, for those who are arguing Caitlin Clark or anybody, everyone's going to go through the season will get longer because the Valkyrie being added, the Portland franchise will get added, the one in Toronto is going to get added. Inevitably, the next 5 to 7 years, the real question should be, how many teams are going to be in the WNBA that's going to add to the strength, the season load for these players? Because that's going to be a point of contention for any of these players, young or a little bit older. So something to think about as well when you're making that consideration.
Yeah, I mean, and it just, again, it's traditionally guards are like, they're normally healthier and they last longer because their bodies are shorter, et cetera, et cetera. Like common facts versus like bigs who normally get hurt, Angel, et cetera. It just always happens. All right, now on Wilson's behalf, I say this. On Wilson's behalf, I'll say this. So Jordan, I want you to peep this right here. This is exclusively for Jordan. Can we all agree? Can we all agree that Asia Wilson can get better? Can we all agree that she can get better? Yes, no, maybe so. No, she can't get better. She can. Just let me know. Can we agree? Okay, so stay there on that premise. Thank you for that, Jordan. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yes, wow is correct. So we agree that she can get better. And right now, this is what we looked through in the shot chart last night. I'm gonna read this out loud for TikTok because I know we're visual learners, right? 117 shots at the rim at nearly 70%. That's. Are you saying she can shoot double those shots at the rim? 254 shots, 54%, Jordan. 54%. 178 shots in the mid-range, 43%. This is from a forward. She's shooting 43% from the mid-range.
Okay.
Tell me that and then again, she can get better, right? 60 shots from three, 31%. That's the worst part of her game. And it's the most effective shot in the game. Yeah. Hold your head like that. Because when I say that, yeah.
What is going on?
First of all, this is like gotcha, like caught in the act.
Right.
I know.
Okay,
I wasn't this much fire from him about Asia Wilson. I am freaking out over here.
Because when I say Moreau got Christmas colors on his shot graph. But the reason why I say that is because I'm like, okay, I already done told you again before Mario agreed with Clark and then Jordan said, I said, I'm gonna go Wilson. I'm going left. Y'all zagging too right. So the reason why is because again, she wants to do better than what she's doing, and I think she can do better than what she's doing. And she's already lethal-ish as it is. And you see the shot chart. We know that she could shoot even more shots at the rim. We know she can even shoot more free throws. And again, she's at the beginning of her prime of her career. And that's why I framed it as the next 5 to 7, because I'm like, would you rather have the tail end or the end or the beginning of this woman's prime? Because she's going to be in the Olympics next season. And she's going to do amazing in that as well. So it's like, would you rather have that part of the prime, or would you rather have the ascendance of Caitlyn getting ready to hit her prime? And that's kind of what I wanted to see. Like so one of our listeners, he always says that Asia Wilson is Clark's rival instead of like Angel. And I'm like, so be it if that's what you think. But I'm like, that's what I kind of wanted to gauge is like, do you feel like her ascension, I'm talking about Caitlyn's ascension, is going to be like rivaled enough to compare with Asia's, I guess, prime? You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. And I mean, I think y'all kind of answered my question, but I'm like, if that's so, that's really lofty expectations.
I'd rather take the ascension, man. It's more exciting. You know, she's younger. You don't know how good this Fever team could be. And she's got a lot of good pieces around her, too, that are also young pieces, too. So this whole team could get better. Clark could get, Clark has a lot of room for improvement, too. Obvious rooms for improvement. I mean, it's just the likelihood of her being better over the next 5 to 7 years and Asia's eventual decline. I'd rather take Clark.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I definitely wanted to hear what y'all thought about.
Dude, that was some gotcha journalism. Like that was
gotcha. That's what Arike said. I'm paying her.
It's a trap.
I'm paying her. Right. I'm like, no. I said you got
Colonel Akbar. Colonel Akbar.
Bro, you better have data points for all these people in this group chat.
I'm like, talk about the foul. So I'll follow up with this question. So over or under 5 years for Caitlin Clark winning her first MVP. Over or under 5 years. I'll go first because I kind of had this point last night. I chose the over because of the same reason what I said. I think Asia Wilson's going to win at least 3 more in the next 5 to 7 years. I think Stewie will probably get one, and I think Fee will get one. I feel like they got to give Fee got to get one. You know what I'm saying? So I think she's going to do whatever it takes, whether that means shooting a lot more threes and getting her scoring numbers up. So I really feel like she'll get one before it's time. And then I feel like, let me ask this because Mike also brought this up, and thank you for that. And this ties into the question: how do you think Collier fits into the Asia Clark and MVP narrative in the next 3 to 5 years? I think she's going to get one, Mike. To answer your question, I think she's going. I don't think she works too hard to not get one. And then that was my take. So I think Clark will get one, and then over. I'm going to pick the over for 5 years just because of the field. I think the field is too strong, so I'm going to just go with the over for now.
Yeah.
Okay, Rob, Jordan, Murray. I feel like we
I'm gonna agree with you too. I'll take the over on that as well. I mean, Fee's gonna be in that conversation. Stewie could be in that conversation. You know, I'm not trying to be like a homer. Arike could eventually be in that conversation. Any one of these talented women can, because that's why when you're in the W, you are amongst the best players in America or in the world playing in the top women's basketball league. Period. You're not gonna be just like, the discount store that's going to be in the W. You have to be at your A game level or want to get to that level if you're in it. If you're not going to be on a roster. So, I mean, we can try to predict all we want, but I think honestly, yeah, it's going to be over for Caitlin just because there's so many talented women. Yeah, I admire the fact she's definitely showing she's a scorer. Now it's all about what can she do to take it to the next level, which of course we were seeing that already in doses, but consistently, can she do it? We'll see. I mean, that's going to be fun to watch, especially when we see who's going to be in that 25 FIFA roster, because that little draft that's going to happen for the Valkyrie could decide things in the draft as well.
Mario, I'm gonna go with Mario Book. I didn't know if you heard the question, so I'm gonna just read it and then we'll go Jordan. So the question was over under 5 years, Clark winning her first MVP. Just to kind of end the segment or speak about the end of the segment, and then Mario and then Jordan, y'all were up.
I feel like this is another tough one, but I'm gonna go over. Then basically kind of what y'all said earlier with, because I do feel like Fee got to get one. I think Asia still got another one in her. I think Arike could possibly be in that conversation. That was a great mention because I didn't even think of her. But other players too that I feel like could have a case, unless she like
you get one for sure.
The Fever become like a top 4 seed in this time span, then I think she get that MVP. But I'm gonna say over for right now.
You don't think that they will though, like become a top 4 team?
They could in the next 5 years. So that's why I'm like, if it is under, it would be in like that 4th or 5th year. I feel, not in like 3 years. But I just say over. I'll say over.
Yeah, right. I pick over too. All right. So we'll go Jordan and Bug.
Well, I got a question for you, Jambari.
What's up?
How many guards have won MVP in this league?
Oh, we already talked about that. It's so good one. 3. The answer is 3. She would be the 3rd. It's 2. So it's Swoops and Tarasi. I'm sorry, Tarasi and Cooper.
Well, I mean, if you count
Swoops, but she's a forward.
And if you count Deladon, I mean, she's a guard forward.
I'm talking about like pure guards. Pure guards is 2.
So it's really 2. It's really 2 people.
She'll be the 3rd. She'll be the 3rd.
So it's mostly, I mean, she in the next 5 years though, probably with the narrative and her team improving in records and stuff like that, I say she gets in the next 5 years.
So you're going under?
Yeah.
So okay.
I can see the media giving it to her in the next like 3 years or 2 years.
But again, what if so she's averaging 27. So what if she averages 29 next year and they win 3 more and they win more games? They're a 2 seed.
Dude, Derrick Rose averaged 25. He got MVP over LeBron. He averaged 27, 7, and 7 or whatever.
What's the narrative? They go from a 4 to a 6 versus a 4 to a 2, and she's doing better than she did last year. Like Clark would have to play at a higher level than what Asia's doing now, because she's not gonna get worse.
Yeah, but I feel like with the I mean she took
you said next year?
No, I said I could see it in the next 3 years, 2 years. Yeah, she can get it.
She would have to put up like 30 a game with like 10 assists, which I think she could do it, but like that'd have to happen like sooner than later. They'd have to have a better record. So it's like they really would have to. But then again, Jackie Young, they're all gonna get better.
I mean, you're assuming it's a pure meritocracy, like awards are literally not about meritocracy. It's literally all about narratives. Every sport, every award is, except for or defensive ones anyway, most MVPs in every league in America are narrative driven. Caitlin Clark could win it next year.
First triple double in league history.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely under.
All right. But what do you think?
Over.
Yeah.
I mean,
Enough said.
Y'all
Okay.
said pretty much everything. Yeah, I think she's gonna. She, like I said, as many others are going to get better with time. And I think Asia's run, and as well as like Fee, you mentioned Arike. Someone in the comments said Ryan Howard. If she's not having injuries, it's a number of people out there that could have a great season and make a run for that. I think Caitlin has time, and she's only going to get better. So that's why I'm choosing over 5 to 7 or whatever it was.
Bet. Let me ask y'all this. So, why are you laughing? I agree with her.
I'm just. Go ahead. I'm just listening.
Oh, I agree with her. I think she is going to be over 5. There's a lot of talent. Let me read some of these comments. Okay, the W has been anti-guard. Ghost agrees again. Ghost agrees. The W has been anti. I know I was like looking for. I'm looking for these comments. W said it's anti-guard. CC Page Juju might change that. Let me see. What is this?
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that for sure too.
What if we go with this? This the meme was an extra.
Ghost loves Dana Evans. So okay, yeah, I see Ryan Howard with some health issues. That was one of my picks. Why you said it's a trap? What's the trap? Y'all get me scared. He said something bad I shouldn't read.
No. I was just teasing y'all because before you kind of made Jordan walk into that little situation, so I thought Jordan was gonna reverse the table, flip the script, if you will. Admiral Akbar.
I got traps for you too, Jambari.
I thought again, I get weird with these. I don't want to read some stuff on the comments.
No, it's not inappropriate.
He had said some acronyms. I didn't know what I learned. What was it FBA and ADOS? I didn't know what those were. All right, let me ask you this. If you were to redraft I guess we'll do like one more topic and then we're gonna do like the fast break. But I wanted to ask this, and let me highlight this one thing too. I remember like early in the year, like I guess not to like spin a narrative, but just kind of just end this like narrative. Like people were upset with Aaliyah Boston for not running to like Caitlin Clark's defense when she got like hip checked, and then like. Again, I thought personally that the entire team needed to kind of stand up for their guard. And then we talked about this like one of those first episodes. Q mentioned that you don't want your franchise point guard in the middle of a scuffle. Now, the last game we just saw, Rob, you already saw, Wings, we talked about this, but Tierra and Aaliyah got into like a scuffle near the end of the game. And then it didn't look like anybody was running to her defense for a good 5 to 10 seconds. It didn't look like anybody was, but I didn't, I'm gonna just say this. There wasn't like a huge narrative like on Twitter about anything like that. But at the end of the day, it's like, if you don't expect this from one player, you shouldn't expect it from another. So I just want to just make that clear again. So I just thought that I just needed to get highlighted because I didn't like that part right there. I didn't like that narrative back then when it was said about Aaliyah, and I don't like it now. So. But I will say this, I was happy and encouraged to see eventually that all of them, they did kind of stand up for her defense eventually. But like, so you don't want them fighting and you don't want anybody picking up a technical and getting suspended. So I'm like indifferent to the way she handled it, but I'm happy Caitlin actually did say something. But, I would like that to be a little faster next time. So, but I'm happy that it did happen and that type of situation. But it honestly, it leads me to believe that there's a bigger issue because these things keep happening. And like Aaliyah keeps getting in scuffles with bigs. And like somebody brought this up on the live the other day where they were saying like, why do you think that is? And he was saying something, I don't know if y'all got any reasons, but I don't know. I just wanted to just kind of touch upon that. I didn't want to like not have that on the record. So I just wanted to make sure that was for the record. Like I was happy and encouraged to see that they did something for their teammate versus the beginning of the season. It's like a full circle moment. The end. So all right, cool. All right, the last thing I wanted to talk about is before we leave, if you were to redraft the 2024 WNBA draft, would you make any? Obviously, I feel like you would make changes. What would those changes be? What positions? We're gonna do it like this. If we were to start off with number 1, do we have the unanimous number 1 at Clark? Yes, no, maybe so.
Yep.
I'm going Clark 1. Yeah, okay. Rob, yeah. All right, number 2. Are we still? Would it be Cam over Angel at that point? Cardoso?
It's still Cam. I think it's still Cam.
I got Cam.
Yeah.
Too. I got Cam too, unless somebody got anything different.
It's close, but I'd probably go with Cam. But it is close.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going Cam because she can shoot a three. You know, she can block shots, play defense. Obviously, she gets foul trouble, but she can make on the offensive side. She can also make shots. You know, so it's like that's what you want moving forward as the game starts to progress. So it's like she can block shots, she can play defense, and she can shoot. So it's like, all right, Boog, Rob, I'm assuming y'all still going 2 with Cam, or I'm a crazy.
Oh yeah,
I'm not that good at this because I can't. It's hard for me to reimagine who should go where. But I'm just listening to y'all. I'm taking this in.
Okay, all right. And at number 3, so I'm assuming it's Cardoso, Reese. What are we feeling?
Reese.
I would probably go Reese at 3 too.
I still think you go the tallest player in the class.
I think they needed a big. Yeah, that's.
I still go Camila.
Mm.
I'm saying okay. I'm talking about like as if
You're
we know
based
off of what we know right now. Would you
change?
Yeah.
Okay, then you would. Okay.
Well,
I'm saying like based off of what we know right now and everything that we've seen.
I think Camilla's still been impactful. She just was hurt earlier in the season. It just took some time.
Camilla's my. Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Camilla's
That's the only difference. I still go Camila.
No, I'm picking Angel.
Yep.
I'm picking Angel at 3.
If we're basing off what happened throughout the year,
3, Jordan. I'm picking Angel at 3.
I'm taking Angel.
But Cam didn't even get to play the whole year. So if we're going off just what they've done this year, I would probably do Reese over Cam and then Camilla at 3, just because, I mean, she played 14 games. Now, she made an impact. I mean, she's probably still on the block list, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if she's still top 10.
I feel like pulling that up.
She was like number 1 in blocks for like 6 weeks after she was not playing anymore. Like she was still
craziness.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So I love Cam, but I mean, if we're basing off that, I might switch.
Unfortunately, she dropped off. Unfortunately.
Yeah,
she's gonna have a killer year, but that's all. That's all my input because I don't want to mess anything up. Y'all
y'all shouldn't judge Cam next year. Don't judge her year. She got an ACL. She needs
she's coming back from an ACL.
Yeah,
she gotta get loose a little bit.
Give her some grace.
If AB hits that final 3, Moreau wouldn't be coming. What you mean? What? I'm coming for AB? I was coming for AB. I thought it was.
No, Leah Boston.
Yeah, I thought
Laura wouldn't be coming for her tonight.
I thought I was defending AB. I don't know.
I mean, I heard that too. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought I was saying that I want her teammates to get there faster. And I was happy. Let me make it clear. I want her teammates to get there faster. Okay? And I didn't like the slander. I'm going to make it very clear. I didn't like the slander she was given in the beginning of the year.
Ghost.
Right. I didn't like the slander she was given in the beginning of the year when Kennedy hip checked Caitlin. Now, obviously, I want a team to unite as a standard front and to all address her at that point. But I didn't like the fact that because as nice as she is, like she's just a nice person. Like if that's not her personality, she's not a fighter, then I'm not gonna expect her to fight. So it's like I'm not expecting anybody on the team to fight. So again, I would just expect their teammates to kind of just stand up for each other at a more prompt manner, is what I'm saying. And looking back full circle, they did it quicker than they did that last time. Nobody said anything, and this time they actually ran to her defense. So what I'm saying is I enjoy that fact, not anything bad. Leah Boston's a great person. Like I ain't got no problem with her. So,
I love Leah Boston, but do you think that the rest of the league thinks she's soft?
That's not for me to determine. That's for Brittany Griner to tell you, and Asia Wilson, and Tierra McCowan, and every single big she fights with every single game. So I can't answer that question. But do I think that how about this?
Do you think that they think?
They're just bullying her because they might be just trying to bully her because she's young. But this is a better question, Jordan. Do you want your post players to be nice or mean?
Mean.
I'm
not gonna,
I like it. I love it.
Yeah. That's why Dallas loves having tea.
I think, Ghost. I have no clue what is going on.
Let's just move on and keep on talking. Yeah, it's getting out of control.
Yeah, and at number 4, are y'all still? I mean, I was gonna go. Yeah, I was gonna go Rickea. So I guess yeah.
Yeah, it fits. Yeah, there's no argument there.
How far are we going? How are y'all going to 12?
I wanted to honestly get to at least 7 because I wanted to see if anybody was going to pick Phoebich or because like another debate happened where Yeah, another debate happened while we were doing this, and they're speaking about Aaliyah Edwards and Angel Reese, and then it just sparked like
I know number 5 is gonna raise some like controversy, so I'm ready for it.
All right, then start off with your number 5, Rob.
I mean, I like it. I know you're gonna say, well, she's not a natural scorer, blah blah blah. JC Sheldon in Dallas.
She's been doing great in Dallas.
Yeah,
I love that
she's shown game. She's
She stepped up a lot for that team.
And I know most people are going to say, well, they could have had Angel Reese. No, I would have gone with her instead of JC. But look, I'm one of those people who look beyond the box score and statistics, because not all the time you can't measure some of the intangibles that you're looking for a player that will fit not only with the system, but with your need and the potential that she has too. Because we both, the thing that you and I agree with, DJ, is that at least she should have been started right from the get-go. Yeah. Because she's been so invaluable for the Wings. Like the moment that she was named to be in the starting 5 was unfortunately during that I think of that 13-game losing streak. But things started to turn around. We started to see what the Wings could have been like if she had been in the starting lineup from Jump Street. So I like that. I like that she's there. I would not change that, because honestly, in the long run of things, she's exactly where she needs to be. I think the Wings have what they need, because they have some bigs. They're going to lose somebody eventually down the road, but I like that she's with Dallas, like that the run and gun offense. It's just more about getting back to LT's philosophy of on defense.
Preach, yeah. Cool. I guess we could just shelve it there.
So would you pick? Are you saying you want Phoebish where?
I would just still keep her in New York. I would keep her in New York. I just wanted to see if anybody had any different opinions on anything.
I think if they didn't pick Cam, if Cam is kind of out of it because of her injury, I think LA would have definitely went for Camilla for the height. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't have drafted Yuru, or I don't know if she got drafted or signed or whatever. But yeah, I think Camilla would have went to LA, and then 3, Angel would have still ended up in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, she's that. With that being said, I mean, if y'all had any closing thoughts, I guess we're gonna wrap it up for today. That's episode 29. If y'all had any closing thoughts, I'll let y'all speak.
Yeah, so go ahead. Go.
Oh, mine is quick. You already know what I'm gonna say. It's always go Aces over here. Go Sky, go Aces. My Sky is hanging on fumes. They hanging on by a thread. Every day somebody else is on that bench hurt. But my team's gonna make it through the end of this season, through hell or high water. We'll see what happens as far as the postseason. I don't know. I mean, it's so tight right now between Atlanta, Washington, and Chicago. Honestly, I'm ready for them to go rest their bodies. But shout out to Chicago. Aces are doing what Aces do. So I'm excited to see what happens in the postseason. And this is the last week. This is the last few games we're going to be watching this week. And I think for the ones that's trying to get into the 8th spot is going to be very exciting. For those that's trying to get their seeding, I don't know if they've set everything yet as far as like who's 2 seed, 3 seed, 4 seed or whatever. That's interesting to look at. So I'm excited about what's that? I can't see it.
That's the standings.
Have they clinched their seeds already? I know Seattle was
not
still
8th.
Not 8th, but I'm saying everybody.
Oh yeah, Seattle.
Yeah.
Well, Seattle and Vegas are in the pitched fight, but that's about it.
Oh, okay. And Minnesota made it to 2.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, it's gonna be exciting this week. We're about to end the W regular season, so that's all I got.
Rob, Mario, Jordan. Hey, boom. Let's do it that order.
Yeah. So for me, I'm still intrigued with the battle for 8th place, because here's a little fun nougat for you folks. Look at that. 8th place, it's a 3-way tie. All the teams have the same record, which is insane. I don't think you could script that. You can't even conceive of that thought. So for me, I'm just curious. I'm going to be contrarian. I'm kind of intrigued to see if Washington can turn things around and get to being that 8th seed. Because again, I've said this many times, I was one of those fools that had them as, dead on arrival. Don't even worry about them. You know, she's dead, Jim, is basically what I was thinking in the words of Star Trek's Dr. McCoy. But seriously, that team, give it credit to Coach T over there and everybody getting through the injury bugs and the illnesses that have gone through that team, because by golly, they're in a position that I thought Dallas was going to be in. Yes, I'm a homer on that. I will admit I was wrong. I got Jambari to drink the orange juice from Dallas, and I was totally wrong because it was expired. But as far as the Mystics are concerned, I love the direction of that team. And again, so they come down to the bench, in my opinion, as to who's going to win that 8th seed. So this guy, I would say, is the limit right now. They're at their limit, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to go with the Mystics, but the best team will get that spot.
What Mike says, and shout out to our listeners. Mike says, not with their last 2 games in his opinion.
Yeah, I mean, they got
that's
New
fine.
York again. New
Dream.
York
He said he got the Dream. He got the Dream.
Indiana.
Oh, yeah, because they would have to. They're 8th right now because they have the tiebreaker against Chicago. If Chicago were to win against Atlanta, that makes them a half game, and then they would have to win their next 2 games in order to get it. But I mean, I don't see Chicago winning against Connecticut. So I mean, it's still a toss-up. Didn't this happen last year? I don't know if y'all were paying attention. Chicago made it in like the last game, 8th spot, or the second to last game, if I'm not mistaken. Because everybody else was sold up just like this year, and they made it in very last minute. So this is crazy that it's kind of history is repeating itself with this team. I don't know who they were in the battle with, but it's just weird or funny how it's happening.
Marius, you up, and then Jordan, you up next, and then I go. Let me see.
Aces will be three-peating. Aces will be three-peating. I got the Aces winning again. One of my squads. We picking it up at the right time. Just hopefully this energy can transfer in the playoffs, and then eventually, obviously, in the finals. That 8th spot is going to my other favorite team, the Atlanta Dream. So fingers crossed. I'm going Atlanta. That's the closest, I think, WNBA team to my city. So I'm going Atlanta for the 8th spot. And Caitlin Clark will not make all WNBA first team. I know that might be controversial to a lot of people, but I got her.
She gonna make it.
Yeah.
She's gonna make it.
Don't you fire up DJ over there? Like he already.
I know.
Under the collar
He knows why she said that.
Don't start.
She's gonna make it. No way.
Yeah,
no way. 2 hot takes. Well, not hot takes. Closing thoughts. The Liberty did not win 34 games this year. Dude, I was writing that for like 6 weeks, and they almost did it. They lost the other night, so they're 31-7 now. They're gonna have to settle for the number 1 record in the league. And then props to the entire WNBA, because on Sunday they went toe to toe with the NFL. All 12 teams played on Sunday against the NFL. You know, because there's always this thing about how do you increase exposure of the league? Well, you don't put it up against the number 1 league in the whole world, you know? So people have been talking about selective scheduling, put it on like a Tuesday or like primetime games, or move things around to make sure that people aren't busy watching the NFL. But I mean, they went toe to toe with them. It'll be interesting to see what the ratings are in a couple days.
But the question is, it's like you can't put it after church, right? Or 11. You can't put it in the morning, and then it's too early. Then you can't put it in the mid-afternoon because then they're in the smack dab of the games.
Right.
The only other thing,
most of the games were at the same time too. That was.
It's because
you probably
the NFL they want
probably the 4 to 7 because there's more 1 o'clock games normally.
They had a few of them. That's exactly what I had them during that.
Yeah.
Yep. And then because they know at nighttime they're gonna be glued on NFL. But the other thing I was gonna say too to that is that it's just the end of this week. The NFL just started for like a week, so if they only have the NFL interference for like a week or two, there's like give or take, and then the playoffs they could just schedule that throughout the regular, like, you know what I'm saying? They can schedule that throughout the weekday.
Right.
So it's like you especially if you build enough strong fan base, you can kind of get away with that because you know the same people that watch from day one are gonna watch. So you know they'll be watching. I guess my last take is just I mean I appreciate everybody for being on. I don't really have any hot takes, y'all hear it, but Maria, appreciate I was hyped that she was on. Rob, you know, like always, Jordan, Boog, I'm thankful. I ain't got no closing thoughts, but I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful for everybody, Mike that's listening, Ghost, everybody on TikTok. I appreciate y'all. So I mean, with
I
that
see
being
your
said,
comments too, Ghost. You're funny.
Okay,
He's just trolling me like he normally does.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
With that, yeah. Look, oh yeah, y'all, Mario, y'all got, yeah. Y'all know me with these comments. It doesn't matter. Okay, too. Boom. He's talking about tennis. It's true. I mean, some of these things is true. With that being said, y'all, I appreciate it. That's episode 29. I'm gonna be on TikTok for like a few more hours, streaming, etc. If y'all want to join on, you're more than welcome. But we appreciate y'all. Everybody on TikTok, I'll join y'all. Thank you.
Peace out. Those cases.
Peace. Much love out there, folks.